Yes, people, what's happening? You tuned into the mixtape right now with your girl Amy, the only place to be on a Thursday night. Now here's what's coming up on the show. I get the lowdown with Wretch 32. It's Wretch 32. Welcome to the mixtape.
Good, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
How you doing? Then I hit the streets, see what you guys are saying, so don't go nowhere. Yes, people, you know what the mixtape's all about. It's all about representing UK talent, and I do have someone emerging from the UK scene right now. It's Wretch 32. Welcome to the mixtape.
Good, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
How you doing?
I'm nice, man. Seeing as it's called mixtape, I am one of the pioneers of the mixtape.
You won an award or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did on One Extra a couple years back. Like most street heat on the mixtape. Like that was really my entry level there. Just the whole mixtape thing. A lot of people came from the whole radio. You know what I'm saying? I kind of done a bit of radio, but my main entry was from the CDs, the mixtapes.
So when you put your mixtapes out there, did you get quite a good response from it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a good response. It was kind of crazy because I kind of worked on a CD. I tested it out in my area, you know what I'm saying? I'm from North London. I tested it out in Tottenham. I gave it out for free. You know what I'm saying? Gave it around.
You don't get a lot of free stuff these days.
No, but this is back then. This is back then. You know what I'm saying?
So nothing's free anymore then,
yeah?
No, okay, you got to pay these days.
I'm free too, but it's no free stuff. But yeah, and then after that I went and checked DJ Cameo, and I played him some of the tunes from the CD, and he was like, "Where have you been?" And kind of took off from there, to be honest. One Extra were really supportive as well.
So tell me about your name, Wretch 32. Where does that all come from?
A lot of people always ask this, you know, like the 32, that's lucky numbers. You know what I'm saying? I got really lucky with the 3s and with the 2s. The Wretch, that's kind of stemmed from my mum, to be honest, you know, like being one of them naughty little kids. My mum always used to say, "You're a little wretch," you know. You know what I'm saying?
No way!
Yeah, so it's kind of one of them things.
Wretch was a bit of a handful when he was younger then, yeah?
Yeah, handful, yeah, you could say that, yeah.
So, did you kind of get into a lot of trouble when you were younger?
Sort of.
Because you work with like youngsters now, don't you?
Yeah.
You kind of try and do like workshops and stuff.
It's mad because like a lot of the young youths, they get dealt with by people that are not familiar with their backgrounds, or do you know what I'm saying, or familiar with their behaviour. Me coming from that environment, coming from that way of life, I kind of know how to talk to them, and you know what I'm saying. So then I get involved with as much of them kind of projects as I can. You know what I'm saying.
Do you think there's enough role models now for the younger generation?
I think now there's a lot to look up to.
There wasn't like when we were growing up.
There wasn't like what I used to look up to the sort of road people. You know what I'm saying. But now there's people that are charting #1. There's people with #2 albums in the country. There's people that are going top 20, top 40 on independent labels. You know what I'm saying? There's like people like Noel Clarke making films that sold out and beat Sex in the City. It's mad, like adulthood, kidulthood. There's all that going on. So there isn't really a reason for people to say there's a lack of role models, to be honest, because we are here now.
Cool. So what kind of artists did you look up to when you were growing up?
Like, to be real, I used to listen to a lot of Bashment. I used to listen to a lot of Beanie Man, a lot of Bounty Killer. And my dad was a DJ, so I think that kind of stemmed from that side of things, you know what I'm saying?
So there's always music in the house and stuff,
Yeah,
so...
He used to have the decks in the house and the big speakers, and it was kind of crazy, but rap-wise, like, obviously the Jay-Z's, the Nas's, and then once I come of age, UK-wise, kind of like the Kanos, the Wileys, the Sways, the Dizzies, you know what I'm saying? They kind of pioneered a whole separate scene, you know what I'm saying?
Because I want to talk about like when you first got into music, because like you didn't really you kind of fell into it, didn't you? Or...
Yeah, it was like, with me, it's like everyone knows they wanted to do music. With me, it wasn't really like that. I wanted to be an entertainer. I didn't know what. I wanted to act or something, you get what I'm saying?
Well, you was the life and soul of the party.
Yeah, I was one of them
believe that, you know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was one of them ones, but it's weird because I was around a collective of friends. It's just a man them, really, you know what I'm saying? They used to go on a pirate station called Heat FM back in the day. And I used to go with them sometimes, but I wasn't really with the spitting, I wasn't really with the DJing, but I was just in there just for the vibe. And it was like, Caliber was like to me, "Yeah man, you should try and write." Started writing, obviously the first bars are weak, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, but you get better, don't you? As you keep doing it and
you know what it is, it's just, I'm one of them people that I never just want to be okay. Like, if I'm going to do this, I want to be the best at it, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do it for no reason. Started writing, got a lot better, but the pirate radio thing wasn't really for me in terms of just writing a whole load of lyrics and then spitting them on the radio. I more wanted to make a CD. I more wanted to put all the songs together, put the lyrics on songs, and then I kind of went that way, and that's what kind of.
So where do you get your inspiration from, like for your music, for your lyrics?
I think everyday life. Everyday life. I just talk about what's happening generally, what I'm around. You know what I'm saying? Whether if I'm going shopping, I might write a song about that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so just imagine you pushing the shopping trolley, in the shopping.
Why would you have to say? Why would you have to say food though?
Yeah.
Where would you get food shopping? What about clothes? Could be clothes, but yeah, alright, we stick with the food.
And what you just think? What you pick up the milk, and then something happens, and then you just think of something, or
it's mad because everything does turn into a scenario.
No way.
It does. It does. You sit down and you watch things like. When you're a musician, your mind that's your work, innit? Your creative mind. So you sit down and you see something and you think, And what you got to understand is music, what reaches people are things what happen, what they can relate to. So the more things that are real, you know what I'm saying? Like whether I'm sitting down watching EastEnders, there's probably 2 million people that watch EastEnders every Monday. So if I can relate to the 2 million that are watching what I'm watching,
there you go.
that's the audience. So
then you have a lot of people listening to that.
Listening to the one song, but yeah, that's where it's.
So have you ever like made up like a silly little rhyme and then it's kind of, you kind of think, yeah, I'm just messing around with this, and then like you kind of, someone else hears it and they're like, oh, that's so good, and then you actually make it into a track and then you think, oh my god, it's just blown.
Nah.
Really?
No,
you never had that.
Your speech, nah.
Oh damn.
I've never really. I'm more one of the ones I sit down and I think about stuff like.
So you're a deep thinker.
Yeah, I'm a deep thinker. So I think about what I'm gonna do, the way I'm gonna execute it, the way I'm gonna sit on it, then I just go and attack it.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys, don't go nowhere. We're gonna take a quick break. More to come from Wretch, so we'll see you on the other side.